given recent events and how the past couple of years have been trending. This was a long time coming. Instead of being sad and isolating ourselves and crying about it, we're gonna lean into it. And as my friend Hannah and I have been saying recently, the horrors shall persist, but so shall we. So today we're gonna talk about books to channel and the police are already after me because of what I'm trying to promote. Books to channel your female rage and feed into it, because we're not going to be sad. We're angry. I have some physical books. I have some books I don't own that I'm still going to recommend, where you just love a female character who is unapologetically themselves. If you're looking into becoming even more of a radical feminist, these are for you, and they're just, I'm excited. Starting off strong, we have Hood Feminism. To be perfectly honest with you, I have not read this book, but I've seen it recommended everywhere, and I am currently trying to expand my knowledge and become more a stronger advocate of the feminism movement. This book, I've heard, does a really great deep dive into discussing the intersectionality issues within feminism, something that there's a lack of, there continues to be a lack of, there needs to be more discussion around. But if you don't think you're as radical of a feminist, which I think we all, there's always room for growth there, this book will be for you. Highly recommend. I'm gonna probably read it very soon, so this is actually going to be in my banned book reading week, where I read only banned books for a week. So if it's on the banned list, that probably means it's good. Highly recommend. We're going to front load this book recommendation video with nonfiction. Next recommendation is Loud by Drew Afwalo, another book that is on my TBR. I have not read it yet, but she speaks on kind of her experience and also how she's been able to decenter men from her life. A lot of what we don't realize, and a lot has been coming up right now in politics, is how we live under a patriarchy. We live in a world where men are at the top tier, specifically white men. And she does a really great job about how, like, something as simple as even like how we dress, to how we talk, to like how we prioritize friendship, stuff like that. A lot of it, and like, this is something I've had to learn a lot, specifically more so through like high school and college. I think that's when it happened to me the most, was as women, we don't realize how much like our life is taught that it'll revolve around men. For me, it's become a bit extreme, where now it's a little bit more aggressive, and there's nothing wrong with that, because you have me in solidarity, where I'm like, why even bother with them when women exist? They're like way cool. They literally create life. Men could never. Anyway, read this book to help yourself. I'm planning on reading this soon, but I've heard excellent things about it. I followed Drew for years on TikTok. I love the impact and just how much she's had, and how many people's mindset she's challenged about how centered our lives around men. And female rage just does not need that. So read it. And now into our fictional books. So a classic. If you know, you know. The Hunger Games series. Miss Katniss Everdeen, the epitome of female rage. Literally, okay, we're gonna not spoil this too much, but also this series has been out forever, so read it if you have not already. But starts off with this girl who's in an outcast district, and she does something, then it leads to a dystopian story where we follow a girl who aims to take down an entire system that was built to support rich people and make the poor people more poor and fight amongst themselves. And she just does so many things that are like so spiteful. And I love that for her, and we love that for her, and she really encompasses female rage. She's probably one of my favorite female main characters of all time, and we stan her. Also, the next, the 5th book in the Hunger Games series, I think it's technically like, I don't know if you say in the series, but it's in the same world as coming out with Haymitches, so not female rage related, but if you want a refresher, I recommend. I will be rereading the Hunger Games series before Sunrise on the Reaping comes out, I think in April, May, Haymitch's story, but anyway, stay tuned for that review. Our next one, the Mindfuck series. This series, it says books 1 through 5 because it's technically like 5 short stories, but they put it all in one, which is super nice. This series changed my life, and I'm not being dramatic. I'm normally very dramatic. I'm always very dramatic. But when I say this series changed my life, I'm not kidding. It's about a girl who was violated and incredibly wronged by a group of people and a town. And essentially, this is her vengeance tour. And this is the epitome of female rage. If you just need some of that anger and aggression, and you're like, I support women's rights and I support women's wrongs, this is for you. We stan Lana Myers. And for a little, we talked about decentering men from our life, but for a little romance, a little fun, a little heartfelt, ba-dum. She is a serial unaliver being investigated, and the love interest is the head FBI agent investigating her case. And obviously she knows who he is, he does not know who she is, so that just adds a whole nother of complexity there. But we stick to the main plot. We stan Lana Myers and her vengeance tour. She can do no wrong. Highly recommend. This is like the perfect read for like fall and I think like winter-esque, but given the political climate, I think this will be unfortunately relevant for the next 4 years. At least to really hone in on that rage. Highly recommend. My next book recommendation, you're gonna be like, Emily, what is this? This is my limited edition version of Cruel Prince. And if you have not read the Cruel Prince trilogy yet, and I don't want to hear anyone say anything bad about young adult. I'm 27. Oh, yikes. Nothing wrong with aging. There's nothing wrong with aging. I'm 2 years into my frontal cortex being fully developed. Things are starting to make sense in life. I'm feeling good. I'm like establishing who I am and my beliefs are. Aging's great. But this is a young adult series, and our main protagonist of female rage is Miss Jude herself. This is a story. I wish it said Cruel Prince on the end, but I'll just hold it here. I wish you guys could feel this. It's like velvet. Oh, it feels so good. It feels so good. I want the other 2 books in this form. I don't know if they exist, but I would like them in this form. So I'm a big, oh, here you go. The Cruel Prince. I'm a big textural person, so this is lovely for me. Anyway, The Cruel Prince follows the story of a girl who is a mortal human girl. She gets thrown into the world of Fae with magical creatures and spells. Very strong like politics and scheming, which is so fun. And she's just she is the girl boss of manipulating people and tricking people and getting what they want. And even though she's technically seen as inferior because she's a human, she finds a way to manipulate all these Fae, and we stan her. She's like probably a top 5, and that is like, I'm nervous saying top 5 because there's so many strong female main characters that I adore but she might be a top 5. Maybe, let me know if you want me to make a video of that, because there's so many main characters that I'm just like, you can do no wrong in my eyes. But she's definitely up there. Ugh. And she's just so clever and strong and proves people wrong. And I feel like that's what we need right now even more. Like, how can we, like, when women get together and put our, like, we saw it with the Barbie movie. We saw it with the Eras Tour. We saw it with Beyonce's, was it Renaissance last year? When women come together, their impact is so strong. The way the economy was improved because of those, like just those 3 events was crazy. When women get together and use our smarts, we are unstoppable. And Miss Jude can really show us we just aren't leaning into that scheming side of us enough. And we have to gather and support each other no matter what. Anyway, decentering men. There is a romance I will note in this. I think a lot of people talk about Cruel Prince for the romance, but honestly I think, and it is good romance, I liked it a lot. And it actually is enemies to lovers, because I'm one of those annoying people that's so like picky about, like, if they aren't trying to unalive each other, they're not enemies. Like, you're not workplace enemies, you're just kind of like, you had one bad work experience, or you're rivals. Like, that's not an enemy. They're actually enemies, which makes it even more fun. So if you would like that side of it, but I think the politics in this is really what makes the trilogy so spectacular. Highly recommend. And my last recommendation, first, can we appreciate how beautiful this book is? Like, look at this. Look at her. Beautiful. She's stunning. The inside, gorgeous. We are Poppy War. If you've not heard about the Poppy War, you living under a rock. Also, pages are stunning. I have a confession, you guys. Hold on. Also, I low-key love that they built in a bookmark. Bring back built-in bookmarks. This is actually so fun. There's also like artwork throughout. Beautiful, stunning. My confession though, I haven't read the Poppy War series yet. And before, okay, you're like, Emily, you can't recommend books to us that you haven't read. I just know I can gather the vibes from a book. Other reviews I can gather, like there are people I trust. And when they say a book is good, I'm going to trust them. The Poppy War is one of them. And I know this is good because Rin, our main character, is apparently a controversial character because of the actions she takes. Very much going back to our motto of I support women's rights and I support women's wrongs. I just know I'm gonna stand her because I've heard she's vengeful. I'm also vengeful. Sorry, I'm gonna be driven by spite. Something you should know about me from here on out. Nothing, that's a lie, nothing, not nothing. I can be very easily driven by spite. And you don't want that. And I think Miss Rin herself is also that way. I have not read this trilogy yet because I just know it's going to be so good that I'm like a little afraid that I'll go into a reading slump, which like, it's December 1st. I have quite a few books I need to finish for like genre reading challenges and other things that like library books that I have on hold. So I'm nervous, but I'm gonna read her soon. I would like, also, this is the original cover I heard that Miss Rebecca herself wanted, and we have to support her dreams there, of course. I hope she makes the other 2 books in this exact same style because I will buy the other two like this now. I can't have the other two ones and then this one. This one's just too beautiful compared to the other two. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but like, come on, you get it. But I highly recommend to channel your female rage. We love her, even if she does some questionable things. Anyway, and those are my book recommendations. The world is a dark place right now, and I really leaned into, I know this is a female rage video, so like, you kind of know what you're getting into. And I also leaned into my rage at the beginning, but I think definitely feel your emotions. Your emotions are very valid with everything that's going on. Obviously, if you don't know what I'm talking about at this point, I'm referring to the recent results of the 2024 American election. If you've been living under a rock, I think everyone in the world knows the outcome that Trump is now going to be. He's currently our president-elect, and in 2025, we're gonna see what happens. But we will not let these recent events bring us down. Like I said, I've been taking my rage, and I'm like, you can do what your emotions with what you can. Like I said, I want to find a way to be productive with it. Reading is something that's always been an avenue, a vessel for me. So I literally told myself, I'm like, I'm going to become so much more educated and insufferable. And I'm so excited. Like, people thought I was mean before. You're in for a treat. Truly in for a treat. So, with that, happy reading. Let me know if you read any of these. Let me know what books you recommend that really encompass female rage, and I will read them because I love strong female characters that do questionable things. We support women's rights and wrongs. Anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate you here. We'll see you next week. Make sure you subscribe so you can see we're gonna talk more things books. Like I said, we have a banned book video coming up. I have a lot more book reviews for 2025. Reading recap is coming up. A lot on the agenda for the rest of the year. And let me know if you read any of these. I'd love that. Otherwise, I'll see you next week. Take care of yourself. Let's be productive. And your emotions are valid. And I'm here with you in solidarity. We can have an impact when we really get together. All of us, so. And with that, I'll let you go. Bye.